Hi, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Adeboye, and in this particular tutorial, I'll be taking you through how you can add a membership functionality to your WordPress website, meaning that you want to restrict certain users and you want to allow some to certain contents on your WordPress website. All right, so for this particular video, we're going to need a particular plugin. So let's over to our WordPress dashboard. On the left-hand side, you'll see plugins. Click on Add Plugin. There are several plugins that you can use to give the membership functionality to your website. So let's type in membership here, or let's just put members. All right, so here we have some examples. We have Ultimate Member. We have Paid Membership Plugin. And we have some others. But for this particular video tutorial, I'm going to be using the Ultimate Member. So let's install. Then we activate. All right, so once you have activated it, you move over to the left-hand side of your dashboard and you check a new functionality that has been added, which is here. Here we have the Ultimate Member. All right, so let's go over to settings. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to create pages. Now, there are some pages that can be created by default once you have installed and activated this plugin. So in this particular one, we have all these pages are very, very essential. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is let's first create the default pages that come with this plugin. So we do that by clicking Create Default for all of this. Then you save changes. So right now, all these pages have been created. You can get to know by going over to all pages. So let's assume that we want to access the login. So, okay, beautiful. So over here, you can see login, we have logout. We have some other pages that we have like the register account and the rest of them. All right. So the next thing is, let's go over to the front page of our website. So what we want to do is we want to kind of shift this to the left a little so that we can have a login or register or account page over here. So let's do that right now. So what we're going to do is we'll move over to appearance. Under appearance, we go to menu. Then we're going to create a new menu here. I will call it register/login. And I'll create okay, so once that has been created, the pages that were created from the Ultimate Member plugin, here they are. So we are going to select. Now, I'm going to select not all of them. I'll select some that I need. So I'm going to select register. I'll select login. I'll select account. I'll select logout. And then I'll add to menu. I'm going to rearrange this by dragging. So I'm going to put my register here. I'll put my login here. All right, so just in this order. Now, it's also very, very important that you do this. So you click on this button that goes down here. So what we want to do here is we want to allocate who sees what. What I mean by who sees what is this. So if a user that is not a member or just anybody visits your website, what we want them to see basically is register. or login. But once they have registered or once they have logged in into their account, they wouldn't see register or login any longer. All what they will see is how to access their account and also how to log out. So, meaning that for those that have not signed in, so we're going to allocate to logged out users. So this is what we wanted to see, register. Likewise, here, we're going to allocate this to logged out users. Collapse this, and then we'll go over to accounts, and we'll select for those that are logged in already. Likewise, you come over here, and we select those that are logged in already. Okay. All right, so here is what we have right now. Then we save menu. Take note that you are free to change any of this. If you want to change it to, instead of having register, you can change it to sign up. Okay. So now, what we've done there is not going to show here automatically. We have to bring it in. Now, for me, I love to use the UAE, that's the ultimate add-on for Elementor, where I'm able to customize my header and footer section. All right, so let's go over to header and footer. We'll go over to header and we go to edit with Elementor. So, like we said, we want to move this to the left. So let's just quickly let's duplicate this. Okay, so once we duplicated it, you can see that it has moved it a little bit to the left. Now, this is what it looks like on desktop. Okay, now because of this that we just duplicated, this has moved down a little bit, but this is what it should look like on tablet. Then on mobile, this is what it looks like. So what we're going to do is, first, let's create it to look perfect on desktop first. So we're going to take this out, and then we'll come over here and put in menu. Once you put in menu, I love to use the UAE menu, which is the navigation menu here. I'll drag it and drop it in here. And I'm going to select, so on that menu, I'm going to select register login. So here is what you have currently. So let's go to, let's click on that pencil icon. Okay, I want my last link there to be button. So I've clicked on button. So as you can see, it has changed to button. All right. Then I want to change the background of that. So to change that, I'm coming over to the style, and for the text, I want the text to be white. So I'll choose white. Okay. When they hover over it, I want it to have a different color. I want it to be this. Okay, so it has changed. Perfect. All right, so let's go to, so as you can see, we have button here. So you click on the button. Now, what color do you want the button to be? So let's say, let's check for a different color here. So that's the text color background. So let's say we want the color of that to be different. Let's have it as white. Okay, and we're going to change the color of the text. We can change it to red. Perfect. Okay, so you can have it as that. When you hover over it, if you want it to change, okay, you want it to change. Let's say we want the background to change to this color. So let's see. Oh, sorry. Here we're going to change it to this color. So that's border over. Okay, cool. So when we hover over it, okay. One more thing, when we have it active, what do we want it to look like? When it is active, okay, so first let's just have it as this. When it is active, let's see. when it's active, let's say you want the background to be a different color. So you can just choose, any color that you prefer. So let's just have it as that. Um, so right now, when we collapse this, so we're going to save this. So you save it by just clicking on publish. Let's see what it looks like, and then we will just make a few changes to it. Okay, so currently we have it one here, which is not exactly what we want. So let's make some adjustments to it. So as you can see over here, you have just account and logout, and that's because I'm logged in. That's why you have it exactly like this. So we're going to also look at what it looks like for someone that is not logged in. So first, let's adjust this. Let's say we want to make this a little bit smaller, and currently in typography, let's reduce it. Okay, so let's say we have it as 10. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, so when we refresh, what do we have now? Okay, so as you can see, we have it side by side. Now let's go back to our Elementor builder. Let's adjust it on mobile. So click this now. So let's say we're going to duplicate this. All right. So after duplicating this, we are going to hide this first container. We'll hide it on mobile, and we'll hide it on mobile. Okay. Okay, so this one, we want to only see this on mobile. Okay, so for this one, we're going to hide it on, hide it. So we've hidden this on desktop and on tablets. So now let's modify this. We could take out this from mobile. So take that out. Okay, so we delete this. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to replace, so I want this to be uniform. So currently, we have 40 over here. What do we have? We have 20. So how about if we have this as 20? That's this first part as 20, and this place as 20 as well. Okay, that will be 40, and then minus, we take it away from 100. So that will be 60. So let's put this as 60. Okay, that's done. So we're going to reduce this to 20. Good, perfectly. So next thing is we are going to change this to an icon. Okay, we're going to change it to an icon. Let's change it to, so you come over here, menu icon. Okay, so let's use user icon, and we insert it. Okay, then we're going to change the color. Let's have it as white. Perfect. So now let's assume that we want to restrict certain pages. So let's go to, on this site, let's go to services. So let's assume that we want to restrict the content of these services. So what we can do is we click on the services and then we edit. And then we're going to scroll down. So you restrict access to this post. So when you click this, it's going to ask who can access this post. Now, we do not want everyone to be able to access it. So let's assume we just want logged in users to be able to access it. Okay. Then you can leave this. You can leave this. It depends on, would you like to display a 404 page for users who do not have access to this page? It's your choice. All right. Then what happens when users without access try? So what will it show? Will it show access restricted message? So if you want a message to be shown, here you can customize what the message will be by clicking on customize message, and then you type in the message that you want them to see. All right, so it depends on exactly what you want. So you can choose this. Now you can put a link here, and the link is what they will see when they're going to log in. So let's just quickly create a private link. All right, so right now, as you can see, this is what it looks like when you have a user that has logged out. So it sees a login or register. So that's basically what they see. So I'm going to copy this link and I'm going to embed it on the register or link text. Okay, so I'm going to put the link here. Okay, perfect. So after this is done, you can save. So I'm going to show you what it looks like when a user wants to access this particular page. But then I want to also note that there are other things you can do to edit the settings. So let's go over to Ultimate Member. We go over to settings. So at these settings, you can edit as many things as possible. For example, if you want to edit the access, how people access it. So from here, you can site accessible to everyone. You can replace the restricted post title. This means that the particular post or page that you want to restrict, once people visit it, the title there, the title will change. If the title was, for example, maybe services or about us or a particular title, it's going to change it to restricted content. That's what it will show. All right. So here you have all this, and you can select where you want it to show, whether it's on paste or post only or on page. So here you have this. All right. Then I also want you to come over to this where we have your forms. All right. So at this form here, you have the forms. This is the login form, which you will see on the front end. And then you have the registration form. So if you want to edit it, you can just go over to edit from here. All right. So currently you have username or email, you have the password. All right. So if you want to add anything to this particular place, you click on add field. So let's assume that we want to add a space somewhere. So just look for it. We have the setup new field. Look for spacing. So here we have spacing here. Depends on the spacing you want. If you want it to be 20, or let's put as 50. So you can, okay, let's give it a title. Let's call it space. And here you go. So it appears here, and then you can drag it wherever you want the space to be, or whatever you want to add, then you can add it. And if you want to create a whole new role entirely, here you can do that. Okay, so as well, okay, you can as well, here it says that customize this form, apply custom. So you can, if you want to customize the form, you can change some settings over here. All right, just spend some time on it. Show remember me. If you want it to show remember me, fine. Show forgot password link. So all these are possible. You can add this to your form. Quickly, let's look at the other form, which is the registration form. So before I go there, I want you to see that you can add the short code to any page or any posts on the site, as you can see here. All right, so you can just copy this and put it into the Elementor builder or your normal editor Just copy the code and then put it in there. So quickly, let's look at this. All right. So here are the things that you have in your registration form: the username, the first name. So in case you do not want the username and you just want the URL, the email and the password for the person that wants to log in, fine. You can just put the one you want, but this is the default. And like I said, you can just copy this particular short code and put it to the page which you want. All right. So as well, you can customize the form when you click on this, and then you can see as many things here that you can customize. All right, so here we are in a private browser. So let's say we want to, let's refresh this. Okay, let's refresh this. So we need to check this, but now as you can see, it's showing restricted content here. Okay, now if we do not want it to show restricted content, so when you click on restricted content, so as you can see, this is what it looks like. You need to register or log in before you can have access to this page content. Now, I want you to see that this is not looking good. Now, this content that you're seeing there is basically what you have on the footer section of this site. So let's customize and make this look better. So, all right. Okay, so we'll go back to where we have the edit page services. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we'll come over here. We are going to do this. You can bolden it. You can put it in the center. Okay. And then you can give it some space over there like this. And then you save. Okay. And now we're back to this page. Let's refresh and see what it looks like. Okay. So there you have it. You need to register or log in before you can have access to this page's content. So we've centralized it. Now, let's say that the user wants to register. So now it's also very possible to have this centralized. By default, the register page or the login page have this on the left-hand side. So you can also create your own page and design it to your own taste. So let's say we want to create something here. Let's call this. All right, so after that, register. Okay, so perfect. So the user has been able to come in to sign in to the page. All right. So he has an account. You can check out the account page. Okay, so here is the account of the user. Now let's see if the user can now access the services. Perfect. So as you can see, the user can now access the service section of the site. All right. So you can test it by logging out again. Okay, so as you can see that what is showing now is different from what it showed initially. So if you try to, now we don't want it to have this restricted content. So all we need to do is we can go over to, okay. So we don't want it to show this restricted content. We want it to show services. All right. We want to show services. So meaning that once they now click on the services, you now see what's that. Okay, there's a restricted access. So all you need to do is you go to the settings section of the plugin. Right. So go to the settings. And in the settings section, go to access. Under access, so we're going to take this out. Okay. And save changes. So most times I like to purge all cache. I use the light speed cache. Okay, so thereafter, I'm going to refresh. Perfect. So as you can see, it has changed. So now it doesn't give any access. So as the admin of the site, of course, you're going to get the notification and the email of the member that has just been added to your to your site. So that's basically how you can add a membership functionality to your site. It's as simple as this. Thanks. Okay. Please, we'd like you to subscribe to this channel and click on the notification icon in order to be notified when we drop more videos like this.